NCIX Tech Tips at PAX West 2016 is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is the simplest way to create a beautiful website or online store. They offer hosting, designer templates, a simple interface, and award-winning customer support all in one platform. Start your free trial today at squarespace.com, and when you're ready to purchase, enter code NCIX to get 10% off your first purchase. This video is also brought to you by the Radeon RX 480, the most affordable solution for premium VR on the market today. Special thanks as well to Corsair.
What's up, guys? This is our top 5 VR from PAX 2016. We tried a whole bunch, and we're back in the studio now to give you our full opinions on it, and we recorded ourselves looking like idiots. So let's just get started. The first one, most memorable, Star Trek. What did you guys think? We can start off with Barret.
Yeah, so my experience with Star Trek was excellent. I thought it was a lot of fun to kind of see Julia and Riley in VR as we were like kind of at different areas of the ship, and like just the fact that we had kind of different responsibilities made it a very interactive experience that was definitely one of my favorites.
I think Star Trek VR was probably the best, like Riley was saying, group experience. It was really cool how it has the headphones and mic so that the captain could actually talk straight to each member and you guys could all hear each other through the headsets.
Speaking of the headphones and mic, there was like a weird delay for me in that
There was.
demo.
Yeah.
Like the captain would speak and it would be like, okay guys, okay guys, okay guys, I was okay guys. Because you're wearing the headphones and you can hear them in real life. But it was really cool. Like the thing that was cool for me for that with that demo was that you had your own special thing and only you can do that part. Like only I could route the shields to like different parts. Or whatever. I was the engineer.
Yeah, so unfortunately I didn't get to play it, but I had to film the whole thing, and watching it was the funniest thing in the world because none of them knew what they were doing. It looks like a really, really fun experience. Like VR is pretty much an isolated thing right now, but with Star Trek, it's a really good multiplayer thing for everyone in the room.
Okay, next up, raw data.
Yeah, so a few weeks ago I watched Node play it, and I just instantly fell in love with this game. And now that we actually got to play it, it was probably my favorite one from PAX. It's just really interactive. So instead of just standing there like shooting on a pivot like other games, you're like jumping around, you're dancing around. You've got a sword, lightsaber, katana thing that you're like swinging as hard as you can.
I mean, that was the main draw for me. It was the sword guy. And you guys got to try it first, and then I came back on the last day and they let me in like as they were closing to try, and I was like, okay, I got to try the sword thing, and it was pretty sick.
So they were telling us that Raw Data was one of the first early access games that actually surpassed regular games on Steam. And I can see why, because me and Barret tried it and we didn't know you could pick different characters. So I got the gunslinger and he had the the katana dude, the laser katana.
Sure,
so the
yeah.
gunslinger had like slow-mo bullet, and they had this bullet fire kind of like Lucian from League, like his ult, like just non-stop bullets.
Oh, Lucian.
Oh, yeah, you totally know. But yeah, it was pretty cool. And teleporting around, it didn't make you sick because it gives you that half second of motion. Like it points at an area and it shows you the path you're going to take before you teleport there. Right. And that doesn't give you really a lot of motion sickness.
Well, look, yeah, Julia and I went first and did it, and I chose the katana person, obviously, because it looked awesome. And but yeah, it was like the first thing we did in the morning, and I was like pretty tired still, and they were telling me all these controls for like teleporting and like throwing your sword, and I tried doing all these, but the controls weren't working so well. I'm gonna say it's a mix between me not knowing the proper controls and them actually not working when I was trying to do that, but I don't know how legitimate an excuse that is. But anyways, besides the fact that I sucked a lot at it, it was still like the most fun. It was a lot of fun just to try this character, and I did figure out teleporting at the end, and I killed the final boss character. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I've been shooting it for like a minute prior.
I still got the final kill, so we'll take it.
All right, next, Virtuix Omni. So only Anthony and Julia played this actually because we could only get 2 people in, so they will talk about this.
Okay, so Virtuix Omni is actually it's not the game, it's the base that you're standing on that you get strapped into. Imagine it as a slippery kind of bowl at the bottom with like, you know those things that they put babies in, they bounce around in? I don't know what they're called.
Oh, the crib, but with the safety.
Yeah, and they bounce. It's kind of like that.
Cool.
Yeah, you basically get strapped in, and then you wear their special shoes with the little trackers on it that communicates to the base and everything. And it's really slippery so that you can walk around. And to move, you'd have to turn the whole base. So it's like a rotating top base that you had to turn physically to kind of go places. And then you had to kind of lean forward. So you kind of looked like an idiot. You don't just walk forward. You have to lean forward like this and almost run through things.
You look pretty dumb in it.
Oh. Thanks, really. The things we do for you guys. But basically, the game we were playing was World War Tunes, and it was really awesome. And when I was in there, I didn't really get motion sick. And I'm not the type to get motion sick. I play games in the cars and everything, and I'll be fine. But this is the only demo that made me really sick, and I was sick for about like an hour after. I was like just sitting there like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And when you're in there, you do a lot of moving. And as soon as you take off the headset, it gets really nauseating.
So I get motion sick pretty easily. When you're running around and you're staying on the ground, I was fine. But as soon as I took a jump pad and like looked down and was like looking around, that's when I started feeling the most sick. So I think it's the disconnect between being like feeling the ground and not feeling the ground. Other than that though, the game itself was pretty fun. It is really, really cool being able to just like have to actually run in order to move in the game. And that part felt pretty immersive.
Next one, Resident Evil, Scary AF is what we have written down.
Okay, that was honestly one of the scariest things I've ever played. When you're watching, I love watching horror movies in theaters, but a horror movie, you can just kind of close your eyes or look away or shield your eyes. With the VR headset, you can't shield your eyes, which is like one of the things most people do, right? Because there's a giant thing there.
Yeah.
This was one of the scariest demos ever. There's this one part, I think it shows up in the video, but this zombie monster killer girl is circling you with weapons and tools of desecration and everything. I was like, I freaked out so much that I actually managed to yank the headphone cable out of the headset, which was kind of my bad, yeah. So
I actually tried to go help you plug it in, and you started screaming in my ear after, and I was like, no, I'm not going near that anymore.
When I tried it, I think I was the last to try it. So, I mean, really, it wasn't that scary for me at all. I'd seen them all do it, and so I kind of knew when it was happening. But I also, like, I tried to be as vocal as possible during the experience because I was just like, oh, no, what are you doing? Oh, man, no, you don't, blah, 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 blah. And so that made me, like, less scared because I knew what was happening. But, yeah.
So I was the second person to try it. So Anthony tried it a day before us, and then the next day I went and tried it. So I was the first one to try it the next day. So I could remember a little bit, but it's so different once you put on the headset from watching the TV. When you put it on, you get a much wider field of view, and it is really immersive. So it just seems like it's happening there, and it really creeped me out.
Yeah, so I actually had a bit of an advantage in terms of the surprise or the scariness of it because I was filming everybody else doing it, so I wasn't really actually looking at the screen too much. I was mostly looking at the people's reactions. So when I actually got to do it, I was quite frightened. And yeah, like what Anthony was saying, it's probably the scariest part when in the background, and that's for like 30 seconds to a minute, and then all of a sudden she comes up over your head with her. But she actually, I don't know, I thought she looked kind of funny.
imagine if they actually tied you up for the demo. That would have made it like so much scarier if you couldn't move.
I feel like that would be some maybe potentially illegal. I don't know. Okay, next, PlayStation VR. Oh, wait, this one... We should have said Resident Evil was on the PlayStation VR, but we tried another demo on the PlayStation VR, which was Riggs Mechanized Combat League. It's sort of supposed to be like an esports, like cross between Rocket League and like Mech Warrior. You're like playing these like big giant robot things, and you have to like throw yourself through a hole in the middle of the arena in order to score, but you also like are trying to kill the other people. We should say that the PlayStation VR headset is very nice. Like it sits on your head really nicely. It's very comfortable on your head. Like it doesn't feel nearly as cumbersome, so that's cool.
It doesn't actually touch your face. It's just the screen that like goes right in front of your face.
Yeah.
So I really like that. The only downside of the PlayStation VR headset was the fact that your field of view was slightly smaller. Like it kind of looks similar to a Gear VR. It wasn't as wide as the Oculus or the Vive.
Right.
But it was still pretty good. And finally, my personal favorite and everyone's personal most hated, the Nauseous Rift.
Your favorite?
Yeah, this thing was hilarious. So I really wanted to have our team try this thing because it seemed hilarious. And up until the very moment when I put on the headset, it was still really, really funny. But the moment we put it on, that was just like a sense of regret and dread and everything. Because as soon as the first fart came out in the game, all of us gagged, I think.
They made like an April Fool's style video where it's like, hey, virtual reality is the big thing. We wanted to take it to the next level. So we did, instead of for your eyes, we made one for your nose. It's called the Nauseous Rift and blah, blah, blah. And it like is with South Park, Fractured Butthole, the game. And you smell when people fart in the game. And I thought it was like, oh, okay, haha, you made a funny video. Let's put it on the internet. Got some views. Great. But they actually made the freaking thing. Ugh.
Fun fact, they actually had L'Oreal synthesize the smell just for this.
So that's how
amazing.
So that's how you know it's the highest quality farts. Anyways,
I can't believe I got talked into it because I heard about it that it was going to be at PAX, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that. No way. And then somehow I got roped into it, and it was when you put on the headset, you could still smell it. For the rest of PAX, I'd like after we did it, I'd be like, I still smell it somewhere.
Yeah,
like I
you
smell
kept
it.
smelling
It
it
was like for a few hours.
That was the worst ever. I just what made it entertaining for me though is that I had the camera while sitting there, so I was just like looking at these people's reactions while I was in there. So that kind of helped settle me a little bit. But yeah, no, it's super weird having it on my nose because it felt like there was like a liquid spray going into my nose.
Okay, so that's all of our VR experiences. What would you guys say was your number one favorite?
My favorite, I had the most fun doing Star Trek VR.
For me, I think more VR game would be Raw Data, just because that was such a short demo and I enjoyed it so much. And it's co-op, which is very unusual for VR. It's usually 1 versus 1.
I think I'd have to go with Star Trek as well, which is weird because it's I don't know. I like the idea of kind of like having a bunch of people cooperating to like pilot this big ship.
So I didn't get to try Star Trek, but if I did, I think that would have been near the top of the list because it seems really, really fun. You have a bunch of your friends all in a room together doing virtual reality tasks under pressure. Like, how could that not be fun? But the one that I did try was Raw Data, and that's my favorite one at PAX. It's just so much fun jumping around as a ninja and like swinging your katana at robots.
That's it, guys, for our top VR. Let us know down in the comments what you thought about all the VR, and hope you enjoyed us looking like idiots in our little futuristic world with the VR headset. So as you've probably already noticed, we've been giving away stuff at the end of all our PAX videos, and today's video will be the PAX moleskin right over here. I think Riley bought one of these.
I got my own one.
The PAX special merch lanyard, the slap bracelet. This is like super old school.
Whoa.
Ah!
And the backpack. Ooh. So all you got to do to win these is comment on this video and make sure you subscribe to NCX Tech Tips, and we'll pick a winner after all these PAX videos have been announced. And that's it. Make sure you check out all the other PAX videos. We're doing giveaways on those too.
This video has been brought to you by Squarespace. Make your online space a square. Space! Don't worry, that's our line, not theirs. Go and check out Squarespace. Just click the video to get started on their site. They have customizable templates, drag and drop functionality, and a great customer support team that helps you if you ever get stuck. Start your free trial today at squarespace.com and be sure to enter offer code NCIX at checkout to get 10% off your first purchase, and that also lets them know that we sent you, so it helps us out. This video is also brought to you by AMD FX Processors, the DirectX 12 performance leader with the highest clocks and the most cores available on a desktop PC. Special thanks as well to Corsair.
So as always, like, comment, subscribe. Watch our previous videos right over here over Barret. And you can follow us on Twitter right over here over Anthony. All right.
Thanks, guys. See you later. Now we got to clean up all this crap. Okay, bye. Oh, yeah. Julia, you just stay there until the outro runs out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Entertain you.
What's up, guys? Okay, I'm leaving now.